Hey everybody, welcome back to the Junkyard Dog Report. Definitely a great game last night, arguably our best overall game of the season. This isn't coming down for some reason. There we go. Hey everybody, arguably our most complete game last night against the Jazz, and I'd like to take this chance to apologize for not making a video about the Cavs versus the Mavs Part 2 game, where we swept the Mavs. I just felt like, well, one, I'd be sitting here telling you guys repeatedly over and over again that, tired legs, excuse here, excuse there for the team. And then on top of that, we had the World Cup final and football Sunday on that same day with my Giants playing on Sunday Night Football. So I gave myself the day off on that one. So for that, I apologize, but I'm back now. I'm here. We're going to get into some highlights here from Cavs Jazz, and I don't have any bad highlights for this one, so no green beans or whatever to eat before we eat our cake. We're going to have our slice of cake and eat it too. So let's just get into it, right? And it's not playing for some reason. Here's Donovan Mitchell with the ball in a very laggy video, trying to pass to Darius Garland, who's going to pass back to Donovan Mitchell for a nice finish at the rim. I forgot to put this up. Here's Donovan Mitchell with the ball up above the three-point line. Step back on Lauri Markkanen for the three. Highlights really aren't looking good today, unfortunately. Here's Evan Mobley passing into Darius Garland, which had nothing to do with anything. Here's Darius Garland dishing off to Donovan Mitchell with another three. And for some reason, it's just not looking good. Here's Donovan Mitchell doing more of that step back to get the defenders shook, and Darius Garland taking it ISO one-on-one to the basket for a nice floater. Here's Donovan Mitchell going right in, or that was Isaac Okoro, going right to Jared Allen after getting stopped by Walker Kessler for an easy dunk. Here's Donovan Mitchell getting a screen from Evan Mobley, pulling up off the screen, hitting a big three. And we had control of this game all game, like from the very beginning, basically from the tip. Here's Jared Allen on a nice pick and roll, and he rolled perfectly to the rim. Both guys stayed on Darius, and he got an easy dunk. Here's DG getting Jared Vanderbilt up in the air and sinking a floater for an and one. Here's Darius Garland with a dish that almost got stolen, but Evan Mobley found the ball and put it in the basket. Here's Darius Garland pushing up court, making a little space for himself against former teammate Lauri Markkanen and hitting a nice mid-range shot. And Darius Garland looked great in this game, honestly. He looks like he's back. Here's a broken play where Caris LeVert lost the ball, found it, and somehow hit that shot over the 7-foot Lauri Markkanen, which was absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. Here's LeVert making a great feed to Evan Mobley, finding the open man, and Ev doing a great job cutting at the perfect time for LeVert to find him. Here's Jared Allen, doesn't know who to pass it to, and then he says, screw it, I'll dunk on him myself, and he throws the hammer down. Here's Donovan Mitchell taking the ball up court, and there's DG trying to set a little screen for him, and there's Don just working to the rim, not able to finish, but there's Jared Allen. Throw it down, big man, throw it down. And here we got Donovan Mitchell doing what he does best, finding his way to the rim with an acrobatic finish. And, this was just a great game for us overall, for everyone. Like, Darius Garland looked like he was completely back in this game. Looked like himself, specifically on that shot right there from three. He was confident all night. He was playing like himself. Look at the sauce. Look at the sauce against Markkanen. He freezes the defense, freezes Walker Kessler to get Isaac Okoro wide open from three in the corner. We need more of those threes from him. There's great defense by Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to not foul on Jared Vanderbilt. And there's Okoro throwing it down with authority on the other end. Here's Ev freezing Jared Vanderbilt, making him think he's passing back to Darius Garland, when in fact he just wants the easy dunk over Jordan Clarkson. Here's a rebound by Jared Allen where he passes out to Darius Garland. Darius Garland's going to take it up the court, put the sauce on him, gets double-teamed by Vanderbilt, so he dishes to Jared Allen for an easy dunk. Here's a bad three where Point Kev gets it, dishes to Ice, who finds Jared Allen running the floor for a nice easy dunk. And I mean, it was just beautiful all around, beautiful defense and rebounding leading to offense, right? You see that was a rebound by Kevin Love out to Raul Neto, who finds Jetty Osman for the wide open three to put us up 23. And this is just how it was going for us all night offensively. There's Jetty with another three. I believe he hit 3 threes in the fourth. He had a 20-point fourth quarter, which is second on the season behind Darius Garland's 27. And there he is finishing a layup. So that was awesome to see, that spark plug that he is. There's another three from Jetty Osman. And I believe we just saw him score 11 points in a row of his 20 that he had in this quarter. And that's it. So, I mean, a lot to be happy about in this game, specifically defensively, but also offensively. Because like I said, Darius Garland looked like he finally came back to life last night. He had a little issue with turnovers, but at the same time, he looked very comfortable, not just passing or diming, which he always is, but scoring, which he had a little bit of a slump with over the last, I don't know how many games. He kind of looked like himself in the game beforehand, but it is what it is. Something else I'd like to say about this game is I want Lauri Markkanen back. I forgot to look this up, but I believe there's like 100-something days from when a player is traded until they can be traded again. And I'm really hoping that by the trade deadline, Lowry's runs out so we can trade a first-round pick for him. I would be really happy to get him back. But in the same breath, Isaac Okoro actually looked really good starting last night, right? We had 7 guys in double figures. Let me rattle that off real quick. Donovan Mitchell had 23 points. He was fantastic. He only played like not even 23 minutes, so he was absolutely scorching. Jetty Osman had 22 points, 20 of which came in the fourth. Second highest scoring quarter by a Cavalier fourth quarter this season specifically. Moving on, Jared Allen had 20 points. Darius Garland had 17, and I know you might be like, oh, how is this guy saying Darius Garland is back? He only had 17 points. He was very efficient, and he was playing like he did last year, where he was a pass first point, not a scoring first point. So moving on, LeVert had 13 points, Evan Mobley had 12, and Isaac Okoro had 12 points. And this was just a great overall game. Unfortunately, we didn't have Lamar Stevens again, who was out with the knee soreness. So, like I said, Isaac Okoro filled in for him to start. Donovan Mitchell was absolutely on fire to start this game, something I didn't say. He had 8 of our first 10 points, 11 of our first 19 in the first quarter. And, I mean, the first half, the defense was perfect. Like, no complaints at all, right? We won the first quarter 29-21. We won the second quarter 33-23. And that's fantastic, both offensively and defensively, to not only hold them below 50, but to score over 60 ourselves in the first half was great to see. Now, in the second half, there are some little things you can complain about, right? The Jazz did score a lot. They scored 55 total points in the second half, 27 in the third, 28 in the fourth. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that we won those quarters 28-27 and 32-28. So while maybe we were a little bit lackluster defensively in the second half compared to the first half, I don't think it was that big of a difference that I really would complain about it, especially because we had 7 guys in double figures, like I said. Our starters, specifically the big 4, didn't have to play as much as they usually would. So that was definitely great to see. And, forgot to get rid of that. And speaking of that, let's just get into our quotes. They asked J.B. Bickerstaff if this was the most complete game he'd seen all year from the Cavs, and he said, we could have played better defense in the second half, but again, we did enough to win. And I absolutely agree. Like I said, 55 points in the second half. I mean, it's not bad, but it definitely could be better. I could say should be better, but at the same time, we held them to under 50 in the first half, and we were up 20 for this entire game. We won every quarter. This might have been one of our best games of the season. I still think the Sixers game was probably better, where we battered the Sixers without Harden or Tyrese Maxey. But at the same time, I mean, we won, like I just said, we won every quarter. We scored almost 30 or over 30 in every quarter. So the offense was humming. Defensively, we didn't allow a single 30-point quarter, which was great to see considering we've had trouble with that in our last few games. And I mean, you can nitpick all you want that second half, but it's just hard for me to nitpick a team when they're already up 20. Like, things aren't going to be perfect when you're up 20, but the thing that really matters is that the intensity and the effort is still there, and it was. So, and what JB had to say about Isaac Okoro defensively, he said he takes pressure off everybody because he can contain his man. And what he said about Okoro's versatility was he's a great cutter, he's a really good offensive rebounder, and he's a really good passer. And this is 110% true. Like, the only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to Okoro is he needs to start hitting that corner three, because if he can spread the floor, like, Okoro, the way he's been playing recently, has an opportunity to steal the starting job from Lamar Stevens. I really believe he does. And I mean, like, I love Lamar. I think Lamar has earned the starting spot, but at the same time, Isaac Okoro is taking this opportunity and making a great case for himself as well. So moving on, what JB Bickerstaff had to say about Kevin Love was he's, an elite playmaker, floor spacer, but, we know what he's capable of. And Kevin Love didn't have the best game last night, right? We didn't get a lot of Kevin Love is in the air in terms of his three-point shooting, which we haven't had for a while since he fractured his thumb. But, I mean, he grabbed 10 rebounds. He was one of the leading assist getters off the bench. And, I mean, he got a block in this game too. So he might have only had 3 points, but he had 10 rebounds. So he's finding ways to be effective, even with his injuries, his lower back soreness. Like, he's not the youngest guy, so it's going to take him some time to be able to get back to shooting that three like we're used to seeing him shoot that three, because it takes longer for him to recover from injuries. And at the same time, like I just said, he's older, so those tend to linger a little bit longer. And, I mean, he has the ability to shoot. Once he's better, we'll see that thing start to go in. And a lot of people have been hating on him lately because he's not making those threes, but I believe in him, and I think he'll be fine when it matters most. I really do. Moving on to Spida Donovan Mitchell, whose former team we're matching up with last night. He was asked about the game as a whole, and he responded with, Cedi Osman played phenomenal tonight. Karis LeVert played really well. Kevin Love had 10 boards, a quiet 10 boards, doing the little things, like continuously. We all know what J.A., Ev, Darius, and myself have been doing. Like Isaac Okoro, like seeing these guys continuously take those steps to continue to get better. And I love how I'm pretty sure this question was more geared towards Donovan Mitchell and playing the Jazz again. And, I mean, he doesn't really, like, he's not in that mindset of, oh, I have to get revenge on the Jazz. His mindset coming into this game was very much like, let's go out there, let's get this win, let's not make this bigger than it has to be. And, I mean, he let himself feel those emotions driving to the arena, but it's like, you can't really run from those emotions. It's the place where he grew from the young man from Louisville to the superstar we know him as today. So definitely a lot of emotions there. But as a leader, being able to, get those out of the way and perform the way he did last night. And then when faced with these questions in the post-game presser, to give credit to his teammates rather than harp on stuff with the Jazz that's honestly irrelevant to our season is great to see. And something that I feel like powered our mindset in the second half, considering we didn't. Now, did we have the pedal to the floor in the second half? No. But did we take our foot off the pedal for even a second? I don't think so. Like, we might have had it halfway down. We had the gas halfway down going like 40. But what Donovan Mitchell had to say about his mindset in the second half was, we got up 20 today, and I was still like, no, it's not good enough. We need more. And, I mean, I would have loved to win by 30 or 40, but the lapses we were making defensively when we were up 20 weren't the worst things in the world. Like, some of them were contested three-point shots in the corner. Some of them were guys just getting beat. But like, to get the consistent effort we were getting up 20, when sometimes we struggle to get that effort when we're down 10 up until the fourth quarter, when we all of a sudden try to win a game in the fourth quarter and not in the first three. I think we really did learn something from that Mavericks game where we beat that team by 15 with the second best backcourt scoring duo in the league in Luka Doncic and Spencer Dinwiddie, and then they don't play and we go to overtime. So I think we definitely learned a lesson from that game. And shout out to Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, who were the number one scoring backcourt duo in the NBA. But what Jared Allen had to say about the game overall, he said, I think it was a full game tonight from start to finish, and that's where we're trying to get, not trying to slack. We did it again in the start of the third quarter, but just trying to get to play that full 48. And what he's talking about at the start of that third quarter is the Jazz went on an 8-0 run to start that quarter. The second half for the whole time, it was kind of like bouncing the lead between like around 18 and 23, other than that run where they went on where they cut it to about 12. And, I mean, I know why we won like we did last night, and here's Jared Allen saying here why he had a great night scoring. He said, I had breakfast for dinner last night. I think that's why I did so well. And you know what, Jarrett? Just keep doing it. Keep having them waffles for dinner before a game, pancakes, a little bacon, egg, and cheese, little sandwich or something. Just keep it going. Keep getting dubs. But it's all fun and games. But let's get into the statistics of this game, right? Because this was a huge game, not just in terms of the Big Four, but in terms of the whole team, right? We had 7 guys in double figures, so definitely great to see how the Big Four versus the rest comes out considering those facts. Moving on, the Big Four had 72 points. The rest had 50. And I told you guys, the whole Big Four had double digits, but also 3 other guys had double digits because there were 7. And the rest 50 mostly came from Cedi Osman, who had 22, Karis LeVert, who had 13, and Okoro, who had 12. So that's 47 of the rest 50. I would have liked to see more from the rest, right? Considering that the bench almost had 40 because Okoro was starting, so 38 for the bench. Definitely would have liked to see that be 40, but I mean, like 2 points is not going to change the world. It's just, a little nitpicking by me. I really believe in our bench. I think we have one of the best benches in the NBA. It's just, some nights they do it, some nights they don't. And last night they definitely showed up and did it. Moving on for the rebounds. The Big Four had 22 rebounds, 19 of which came from Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Jared Allen had 11. Evan Mobley had 8. The rest had 23. And like I said before, Kevin Love had 10. Always like to see when the rest can actually beat Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in terms of rebounds, considering how good those guys are at getting rebounds and how big they are. It's definitely big time for them to, be able to snag those rebounds, those 2 7-footers on the floor. Also helps when you have garbage time because, you have a 3 or 4 minutes on the floor there where neither of them is playing, which was great, by the way. None of our starters played more than 30 minutes basically on the dot. Like I said earlier, Donovan Mitchell didn't even play 23 because he picked up his 4th foul in the third quarter, and it just happened that he didn't need to come back in. Moving on to the assists, which we did a great job on assists in this game. We had 24, and like I've said in the past, if we have 25 or more assists in a game, we're pretty unstoppable. We're going to win pretty much every game where we get 25 plus assists, we're going to win. And I know this was only 24, but it's just 1 assist off. So I'm going to make that statement anyway. So the 14 assists from the Big Four, 8 were from Darius Garland, 3 from Evan Mobley, 2 from Jared Allen, and unfortunately only 1 from Donovan Mitchell. I believe it should have been 2, but there was 1 assist he had to Jared Allen on the alley-oop where Walker Kessler undercut him, and Jared Allen wasn't able to finish the alley-oop, so he just went to the free throw line. So it should have been 25. But Donovan Mitchell definitely needs to be getting more assists than just 1, even in 23 minutes of play. The rest had 10 assists. 7 of those assists came from Isaac Okoro and Kevin Love, Isaac having 4 and Kevin Love having 3. And it was great to see Isaac just passing the ball the way he did last night. Like, I don't think I've seen him play as well with the ball in his hands as he did last night, whether it be finding ways to cut to the rim, hitting the 3 in the corner that he did, going out in transition and either throwing it down. He throws down nasty dunks. He throws it down with authority, or finding the guy coming up behind him, right? He got 2 assists on fast break, 1 to Jared Allen and 1 to Cedi Osman. So that's great vision on a fast break to find a guy trailing you for an easy bucket. Moving on, the Big Four had 2 steals, 1 from Darius Garland, 1 from Jared Allen, and the rest had 3. 1 for Isaac Okoro, 1 for Cedi Osman, and 1 for Raul Neto, which was great to see because I don't think Raul gets enough run on this team, especially considering that his role is going to be diminished to nothing once Ricky Rubio is back, which I can't wait for. Ricky Rubio and Dylan Windler were seen practicing together a couple days ago, and my camera just died, which is wonderful. So I'm about to put in a new battery so you can see my beautiful face, and I will continue to talk about statistics while I do it. All right, so where were we? We were on... Okay, we just talked about steals. So blocks. Jared Allen had 3 blocks in this game. He was absolutely fantastic defending the paint, and you got to give him a lot of credit for that. And on the other hand, the rest had only 1 block, which, as I told you before, belonged to Kevin Love. And Kevin Love, like I just said, not the best paint defender, but at the same time, he found a way to get that block, so definitely credit to him. And I put the battery in. I just don't know why this isn't turning on. There we go. And, okay. So on to the turnovers, which were really bad in this game for us. Probably the worst part about this game for us, right? So the Big Four had 11 turnovers and the rest had 10 for a grand total of 21 turnovers, which is just, it's not good enough. It's not. Like, you eliminate half those turnovers, we win this game by 30-40. Now, is it that big of a deal? Not really, because we won by 23. Yeah, we won 122-99. We won by 23, so we definitely need to get the turnovers cleaned up. Definitely something to watch for against the Bucks, who have owned us so far this season. It's just that I don't want to harp on something too much when we won like the way we did. It's just that, so the Big Four had 11 turnovers, 6 from Darius Garland, 3 from Jared Allen. The rest had 10 turnovers, and there were 2 turnovers from 4 different guys: Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, Cedi Osman, and Raul Neto. Darius Garland led the way in plus-minus. He was plus 25, and I think that really was partially shows how well he played last night. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic. He really did look like he was back to his former self from last season, so hopefully he can keep that up. And the shooting splits for this game to finish it up. We shot 61.4% from the field, which I loved. 43 from 70 overall. All our shooting splits I loved. We're 57.7% from 3, almost 60%. 15 for 26 too, so it's not like we just took 10 threes and made 5.7 of them, which would be weird. For the free throw line, we made 80.8% of our free throws, and we were 21 for 26. So great game overall. In this one, I mean, Cavs win it running away. And, I mean, like, what else can you say? It was a fantastic game. The team played together. And I think this was a great game to finish off on before we play the Bucks, the Nets, and the Raptors, which are all going to be tough matchups, especially because the Nets are gaining on us in the Eastern Conference. So hopefully we can pack this up and take it with us on Wednesday. And until next time, keep scrapping like a bunch of junkyard dogs. Hoo, hoo, hoo.